Move now to the international news. In an exclusive interview yesterday with ABC newswoman Barbara Waters, Russian President Boris Yeltsin said that some of the country's nuclear missiles are still pointed at the United States, but that his country does not consider the United States a potential adversary, and he therefore intends to turn Russia's intercontinental ballistic missiles away from American cities. Yeltsin told Waters in an interview conducted in his office in Moscow that he has already informed President Bush of his decision on the missiles and that he intends to make a formal announcement on this matter tomorrow and repeat it at the United Nations Security Council in New York on the 31st of January. The United States had been concerned that despite the changes in relations between the United States and the states that formerly made up the Soviet Union, the missiles were still pointed at American cities. American news reports also said yesterday that the Bush administration has decided to halt United States nuclear bomb building indefinitely. The world's 7 richest nations sought yesterday to allay fears of a renewed global recession by pledging to step up actions to promote growth. In a communiqué that several countries hailed as a major breakthrough, the group of 7, known as the G7, expressed concern about recent sluggish growth and voiced confidence that things would get better soon. But it stopped short of agreeing on a joint strategy to achieve that aim. The finance ministers of the G7 countries, which are the United States, Britain, France, Germany, Japan, Italy and Canada, meeting outside New York City, also called the International Monetary Fund to grant the former Soviet republics full membership by late April. German Finance Minister Theo Waigel said that each country had to look for its own answers on finance and monetary policy. The communiqué lightly treated the issue of currency markets, and Japanese Finance Minister Tsutsu Hata said it was because the G7 was in favor of current conditions. After initial discussions, the United States Secretary of the Treasury, Nicholas Brady, said there was a new and different commitment to global growth from all the members.
There is a commitment, a disposition, a forward leaning towards world growth, which, as you know, is something that we've been talking about for almost a year now. But this commitment is entered into by all 7 of the participants in the meeting.
Michael Emerson, the European Community Aid Coordinator in Moscow, said yesterday that the organization hopes to bring in some 2,000 tons of food per day. Shown on CIS television, Emerson said so far the European community has contributed some 250,000 tons of meat and 250,000 tons of medical supplies. The goods are to be sold at low prices, and money generated will be turned over to a program which will further help the needy in Moscow and St. Petersburg.
Московских и петербургских магазинах. При этом цены устанавливаются с учетом нашего мнения, а вырученные средства поступят в российский бюджет, пойдут на социальные программы. Пока европейское сообщество ежедневно поставляет в Москву и Петербург 400 тонн продовольствия. В дальнейшем темпы будут наращиваться и достигнут 2000 тонн в день.
Baltic Assembly officials met Soviet army representatives in Riga yesterday to discuss the withdrawal of 100,000 Soviet troops still stationed in the new independent republics of Estonia, Latvia and Lithuania. The Baltic officials insisted the withdrawal must go ahead. Soviet military officials agreed the withdrawal will proceed, but said potential problems faced by the departing soldiers must be resolved. Soviet Army representative Vladimir Lopanitin said yesterday the withdrawal will happen, but only if the social problems facing soldiers, such as lack of housing back in Russia, are resolved. The Baltic Assembly began its first plenary meetings last Friday, and it's expected to finish today. French Foreign Minister Ronald Dumas met Kazakhstan's President Nursultan Nazarbayev in the latest stop of his tour of the former Soviet republics. The most important issue concerning the French minister during his extensive round of talks in the region has been the nuclear arsenal of the former Soviet Union. Western countries, including France, have offered the newly independent republics technical help to remove the weapons. But republics, including Russia, have told Duma that the warheads can be dismantled without Western support. But Moscow television reported that yesterday, meeting in Alma-Ata concentrated on diplomatic relations between Kazakhstan and France.
The presidents of Romania and the former Soviet Republic of Moldova met near the border yesterday amid increasing calls by nationalists on both sides for unification.
The Saudi Arabian television. Time now for the Wild Jack.
Just up there. Come on, let's go. Hold on a second. I'm whipped. I'm not even sure I've got it in me. Mr. Fielding, if we don't get there first, they will. All right, let's go.